Just read 3 to 4 verses, please. 33 onwards, please. Ekagrata nirodho vam mudai abhyasyate vrusham dhira krutyam na pashyanti suttavat swapade sthitam aprayatnat prayatnadva mudho napnoti nirvritim tattva nishchaya matrena prajño bhavati nirvritah shuddham buddham priyam purnam nisprapancham niramayam atmanam tam na jananti tatra vyasa parajanaha napnoti karmana moksham vimudho vyasa rupinam धन्यो विज्ञानमात्रेण मुक्ततिष्ठत्यविक्रियः मूढो नाप्नोति तद्ब्रह्म यतो भवितुमिच्छति अनिच्छन्नपि धीरो हि परम ब्रह्म स्वरूपवाक् मूढो नाप्नोति तद्ब्रह्म यतो भवितुमिच्छति अनिच्छन्नपि धीरो हि परम ब्रह्म स्वरूपवाक् I hope you have been really contemplating and seeing the truth of these ideas very clearly within yourself. And the most important aspect and perhaps the subtlest, the profoundest or the simplest part of it is the effortlessness of your being, which again and again emphasized in those verses, that is, to be yourself, to be the self, to be who you are. You cannot do anything whatsoever, be it a physical action, an oral speech, thought engagements, logical arguments, negations, concentrations, any type of practice, be it the physical, oral or mental. None of these activities of any kind is required to be yourself. all these actions of millions of kinds, call it secular, religious, physical, oral, mental activities, not only do not have the capacity to produce it, but also are incapable of negating it. It begins with yourself, who you are. It's not a practice again and again, because that's the statement you must know. Shuddham, Buddham, Priyam, Purnam, Nisprapancham, Niramayam, Atmanam, Tamna Jananti, Abhyasa Tatra, Abhyasa Parajana. Those people, Abhyasa Paraha, for whom Abhyasa is Param, that any type of practice, good or bad, right or wrong, secular, religious, any type of activity, they are engaging themselves in order to be themselves, shall never ever know the truth. Because who you are is neither the product of an action, nor are you the product of an inaction. You must see it very, very clear. Does you like it? Ask yourself. Are you not tired of doing million things in life? To be educated, how tough it is. To get a job, till a land, go around the world, digging a hole, digging a mountain, bringing the minerals from the mine, even maintaining a relationship, producing food, cooking food, preparing food, building a house. However essential they may be in life, they can never give the fulfillment. There is a difference between, please listen carefully, there is a difference between learning to earn a living and learning to live. How to earn a living and how to live are two distinct things. Our whole focus in our studies, school, college, university, and the injunctions, instructions, advice that you get from all sides is how to earn a living. Not how to live. How to make little money, how to build a nice house, how to cure the disease. This is fantastic. All these are required. But how to live? Because with all types of prosperities, all types of informations at our disposal, the person can be still miserable. Or else, the richest man in the world will be automatically happiest. We don't see that. The top actor, the top player, the top bureaucrat, the top businessman, the top educationist should be automatically happy. Even a top religious leader should be automatically happy. They are not. Here we are not to suggest whether somebody is happy or not happy. Ask yourself the question. Because who are we to pass a judgment on somebody as to whether they are happy or not happy? You ask yourself, even after reaching certain height, achieving certain things, are you happy with yourself? Because if there is a reason, we have seen so many times, if there is a reason for the happiness, you are not a happy person. To earn a living, there are a million ways to be. Listen carefully. To be. Just to be. How many ways are there? And when you say to be alive, if you say to be alive means to keep the body alive, you are continuously dying with the dying body. So if you want to be alive with the body, you shall have continuous fear of death and annihilation. If you think to be alive means to engage in a relationship, to maintain the freshness of that relationship, is a huge struggle. That is why people end up in divorce, battle, war, whether it is between two individuals, two families, societies, countries. It's a battle, it's a war zone. You can't maintain that relationship forever. Why it is between the two people? Come back to yourself. Between two thoughts, just like ideologically, two people can fight. Inside you, there can be two different ideologies and there will be a huge fight. Which one is right? Because you have grown up. You are grown up with the idea that in order to be happy, I must do something. Now you listen to an idea that to be the happiness, you cannot do anything. Begins your battle. Think. So it is a fight within. So have you come to this learning, you come to religious instructions to wage yet another battle inside? No. There the beautiful thing is, the teaching is so beautiful. It helps you to be yourself who you are. It doesn't put one idea against another idea. To be immortal, you don't fight with the mortality of the body. It's so beautiful. To be immortal, you don't fight with the mortality of the body. To be secured, you do not give up the insecurities of the objects. No object can give you insecurity, no object can give you security. But to be the happiness, to be immortal, to be secure, to be free, you are being yourself. That is why there is no fight against anything. So that part you must very, very clearly see. Very clearly you must see it within yourself, please. Very clearly you must see it within yourself. That you should not be happy, free from every type of anxiety, should be so restful. Abba, at last, in reality, I don't have to do anything whatsoever to be myself. Because please listen, however exciting a practice, an action, a perception, a sensation, and however exotic an idea or thought may be, very soon you shall be getting tired of it. Whatever gives you excitement, listen carefully, whatever gives you excitement, even pain and anxiety, you very soon that will drop out. You will be tired of it. The I, the individuality, listen carefully, the I, the individuality completely gets tired of every practice. Ask yourself, who is tired of the balloons in the childhood? The balloon is tired, the body is tired, or the child is tired? The child becomes young, throws the balloon. Physically grown up, mentally grown up. Who gets tired of the bicycle at one time about which you are so excited? Who gets tired of a motorbike? After some time you are tired of the motorbike. It is a collector's item. You pick up nice books, nice movies, even nice friendship. Soon it loses its shine. You get tired, you drop it. That is why many people on the religious side also, so-called religious secular side, you get tired of many things. Why you don't get tired means, if you say somebody is still sticking to it and not getting tired, because for them it is a means of living. I cannot get out of doing the same thing, because if I drop that particular profession, that physical action, training somebody for football or making a movie, cooking food, anything for that matter, or even religious instructions, if that has become your habit to teach how to sit down, how to stand up, how to, those postures, or various physical postures, asanas and all that, or ideas you are selling, you are sharing, you don't get tired, because even if you are tired inside, you don't show your tiredness, because that helps you to earn a living. Understand? Who you are. When you recognize who you are, you know how to live your life. Because everything becomes a blessing. You know how to use anything and everything. You are not tired of anything in life. Why? Because you are eternally fresh. See that difference? You are eternally fresh. The child becomes young. The young man doesn't like what the child likes. Or the physical body, the body of the young man can do things which the child could not do, therefore he will not miss the childhood. The body of the old cannot do what the young person do. But the old man shall miss the youth. Think. It is not the physical body's action. Physical body is used as an instrument. The thoughts are used as an instrument. The one who is getting tired is the I thought. So the I thought gets tired of any practice. It gets tired of sitting down in a particular posture. I am talking about, suppose, spiritual, religious language. Sometimes he is tired of denying himself certain food or practices. As even it was tired of a job, or living in a particular house, driving the same car, eating a particular type of food. It gets tired. Now, will you not like a stage? Listen carefully. Will you not a stage, will you not like just to be somebody who is not there to feel tired? And to be that, you don't need anything or anybody. You don't need the I thought. To be the silence, you don't need any words, including the statement, I am silent. To be the silence, what words will you need? What music should you practice? What song you should sing? What words must you repeat? What sounds you must concentrate on? To be the silence. Should you be there able to say, I want to be quiet, I want to be quiet, I want to be quiet? So this is the I who gets tired. I want to be quiet, but this noise is coming. I want to be quiet, but the thought is coming. But you don't understand. You are the one who is creating your worst disquiet. You are creating your own disturbance by struggling to be quiet. I want to be quiet, I want to be quiet. That is so noisy. Trying not to try is a huge trial. Are you getting that? Putting forth the effort to be effortless is a huge effort. You understand how you can cheat yourself? Unconsciously, unconsciously. If you are jumping and you say, I'm trying to be quiet, I'm trying to be standing in one place while jumping, are you getting that? You are jumping continuously and you say, I'm trying to be standing in one place, I'm trying to stand in one place. What trial? To be on the move is a trial. To be in a place, see that. Okay. A beautiful idea is coming, I'll share it. Many times I have given the example, which you also know by yourself. The knife is good or bad? You remember this example, right? A knife is good or bad? Of course, you straight away say, it depends. But that's what it is. It depends. Because knife by itself is neither good nor bad. If somebody uses a knife to cut a throat, crime. Cut a vegetable, harmless, okay. So knife is an instrument. Listen carefully. Knife is an instrument. It's neither good or bad. Okay? Car, good or bad? Same thing. Atomic energy, good or bad? Same thing. Money, good or bad? Same thing. All these examples you have heard. Have you tried? Has it ever occurred to you? Like this morning, as I'm talking to you, this is fantastic idea. Come back to your physical body. The body is an instrument, good or bad. Just like a knife. The body is good or bad. Like knife doesn't use itself, body doesn't use itself. Good or bad. So physical actions are good or bad. Knife is good or bad? Can't say. Depends. So knifely actions, anything that is done by knife, anything that you can do with the knife is good or bad? By itself. The knife is not held responsible. So physical, body by itself is good or bad? So physical actions, pushing, good or bad? Depends whom you are pushing or what you are pushing. Kicking, good or bad? Depends. Slapping, good or bad? Patting, good or bad? Now in the whole physical body, so many actions will be there. You are speaking, good or bad? The speech, good or bad? The words, rascal, rogue, so sweet, good or bad? Depends. Listen carefully. It's an instrument. Now, thoughts, another instrument, by themselves, good or bad? Depends. Depends on what? How you use it. So this I thought, by itself, good or bad? Do you appreciate? Depends what role it assumes. That is why, who is the person behind? The motive, the I becomes so important. Just as, listen carefully, just as you have spent years together now, months and years, just as to appreciate. Appearance is not the reality. What you see, objectify is not who you are. The flat earth is not flat. The blue sky is not blue. The rising sun never rises. The steady earth is never steady. Visibly clean hand is terribly dirty, full of invisible microorganisms. So actions are also visible. Appearance is not reality. You can't pass a judgment good or bad. Listen, speech. Who speaks? Thoughts good or bad? Only you can decide. Listen carefully. Others cannot see your thought. That thought is not either an appearance for others or reality for others. Listen, your thought is not an appearance for others, nor is it a reality for others. Their actions are only a reality. Their speech only is a reality for you. But that action and speech is an appearance. Person smiles inside, but terribly angry with you. Inside the person craves, but outside shows total renunciation. Understand? A thought is an appearance for you. Only for you, your thought is an appearance, and that is not the reality of you, because if the thought is the reality of you, without the thought you shall not be there. the I thought, good or bad. Again it is an appearance. Why? Disappears also sometimes. Who you are can't even call a reality, because reality is opposed to appearance. You are neither an appearance nor a reality. Absolute. Good or bad. That is why a person of wisdom, understanding himself, goes beyond everything. The laws of the world are revolving around ignorance, individualities, accepting the individuality. Understand? It is not, it cannot, it does not and cannot take into account the absolute. So even the person who remains with the absolute has to succumb to the laws of the relative world. In the eyes of the others, the person is part of the relative world. In his own eyes, he is in and through everything. Therefore, can accept anything and everything, can reject anything and everything, not for others' sake, but in his own sake. Listen carefully, it's so beautiful. If you are condemning somebody, passing a judgment on somebody because of the appearance, you shall be the first victim of it, because you can never ever understand the reality of yourself, because you are also literally you are judgmental, because for you the appearance is the reality. When you recognize the reality of yourself, you shall appreciate everything. But you shall not consider yourself holier than others, superior to others, anyway inferior to anybody. You shall accept everybody as ultimate, infinite, call it divine, call it absolute, call it whatever you like. Everybody is same. And to be that, how easy, effortless it is, because already there. It's like the effortlessness on the part of the knife to be neither good nor bad, on the part of the body neither to be good or bad, neither to feel young or old. You understand the principle? It's like effortless on the part of the thoughts, neither to be agitation or meditation. Same thing, yourself, the consciousness. No need to say I. No need to pick up a role to be. No need to do or not to do something to be who you are. To think or not to think something to be who you are. To do or not to do something to be who you are. To speak or not to speak something to be who you are. To practice or not to practice something to be who you are. You understand the beauty? Abhyasapara janaha atmanam na jananti. Abhyasa don't mean, now don't limit its scope. Abhyasa don't say, suddenly be very critical of religious practices. The people who are doing religious practice, holding their nose, standing on their head, or chanting this mantra. They are not going to see this reality. No. Abhyasa parajana includes secular activities also. Just because you are earning millions, building 1,000 homes, making million discoveries to make the body comfortable, that's fine to keep the body alive, like last time we saw. Nice to stand on the head, to breathe in a particular way, to keep the body healthy. Nice to have certain observation of your thoughts so that you understand the ways of your mind. But to be the self, you cannot lose yourself in any activity, gross, physical, oral, subtle, thoughts, emotions, even eye thought. Abhyasa parajana means what? Not that the Ishvara, it's not that the practices deny you the access to yourself. It's the practitioner whose presence denies as though. Because even when you don't know yourself, you are who you are. But when you either fall in love or unconsciously hold on to a role, a holy role, or some type of a proud secular role, that I am this, I am doing this, you lose sight of yourself. Abhyas parajanaha tatra na jananti. They don't know. Such people, ekagrata nirodhova mudaihi abhyasate bhusam. Mudaihi, by deluded ones, muda, those who are mohagrasta, don't know what it is. Understand, the word mudha, deluded, is not a condemnation of somebody. It's not a condemnation of somebody. Why do they say mudha? It's all out of sympathy. It's all out of care and concern. Please don't be deluded. It's like telling a rich man, don't be stupid. Why? You have millions. What are you struggling? It's like telling a child, don't be stupid. Your father can afford anything. Go to the best college, study. So when the scripture says, mudha, O deluded one, murkha, O idiot, is all terms of endearment. You are infinity, don't lose yourself in finite identifications. You are immortal. What are you afraid of mortality? Bhagavad in Vivek Chudamani, the Guru, the teacher will address the helplessly crying, miserable, frustrated student. Agyana yogat paramatmanastava tataiva bandha tataiva sansruti. You know how he addresses? He doesn't say, oh you idiot. He said, no. Hey Paramatman, oh absolute infinite being that you are. Ajnana yoga, because of your ignorance, you are going through bandha, bondage, and therefore sansruti. After you feel bound, in order to be released, you go on doing 100 million activities. Not that when you are free, you will not do the activities. When you are free, your activities will not in search of freedom or happiness. That is why they are not binding. When you act in search of happiness, you feel unhappy. When you act in search of freedom, you feel bound. If you remember those long back, simple statements in Tattva classes, if you seek happiness in an experience, you are bound. If you see happiness in an experience, you are released. I made that nice little difference, okay? When you seek happiness in an experience, when you seek meditation in a practice, you shall be miserable. When you see experience, when you see happiness in every action, if you see meditation in every action, meaning see means here be. If you be the happiness, be the meditation in every action, you are free. Absolutely free. So, Buddha, ekagrata nirodha abhyasyate. They go on practicing ekagrata. One-pointedness, don't disturb me. When he said, don't disturb me, what does it mean? You are already assuming you can be disturbed. These statements are like bullets, huh? If you say, don't disturb me, why people get so angry? Because they feel disturbed. In a Nazi concentration camp, the story goes, there are two people, so many people, but two became very friends. And after the Second World War, when they came out of the place, they came out of the camp, they were rescued. Years have passed, 10, 20 years have passed. And they are meeting one day and then suddenly say, are you still angry with those Nazis? Are you still angry? Do you hate these Nazis? He said, what about you? He said, I don't hate anyone. Then the man said, but I hate them. I really hate them. Then the other man said, so you are still a prisoner of the Nazi concentration camp. Understand? Those are not your enemies who hate you, but those are your enemies whom you hate. Listen carefully. Those are not your enemies who hate you. Because whether they are hating you or not hating you, how do you know? But they are certainly your enemies whom you hate. Body is not your enemy, even if you think the body is putting trouble to you. I bring it back to yourself. I hate my body. Yeah, that's what it is. Body never hates you, but you hate your body. Why? So big stomach, so flat, so who? You hate your body. You understand? You don't need to go to a Nazi concentration camp. That is extension of big camps inside, outside, of course. Huge nonsense. No human being must do that. That is why you have no business to torture anybody. But nobody can torture you unless you torture yourself. Body doesn't hate you, but you hate your body. You are in trouble. Thoughts do not hate you, but you hate your thought. You hate yourself. Wow. You hate the idea of yourself. I don't want to be immortal. I don't want to be unhappy. I don't like that image. Yes. So this continuous struggle going on. When you are at peace with yourself, you are no more a prisoner of your thought, prisoner of your conditionings, prisoner of your body, prisoner of the world, prisoner of anybody. You don't hate anybody in this universe. That is why the best language, Bhagavad Gita, what it says, Mitrari pakshayo tulya, tatha mana pamanayo. The person is same for mitra or a friend or an enemy. Respect, disrespect, it doesn't matter because he is with himself. Are you getting that point, please? How sweet it is. The person will feel helpless if he finds security in a practice. By getting the money, I will be secure. If you say money is not security, his world will be devastated. Being in this important position, I'm a very powerful man. The position is gone, you feel threatened. Why the politicians or anybody who is mad after power, whether it is a field of politics, religion, family, society, anywhere, wherever there is a power struggle, there is a destruction. You want to take over from your father, you like to prove your father as insane and take over. You want to take over from a management, you prove the management wrong. You want to take over from your, what? From your father, from mother, from people, even from your guru. I want to be the next guru. This man is too old, why should he be there? Right? Move. So, I want to be the next one. Power. Not only the other person tries to remove you, but also the person struggles to retain it. That is where the conflict begins. Why there is a conflict with the body? When the time snatching it away, I want to keep it going. Keep it going in a healthy way for its own sake is fantastic. But you cannot take the body away from the lap of time. Time shall inevitably consume it. So why there is a fight with the time? So you practice Kayakalpa. To keep the body, make the body immortal, you shall be disappointed. To keep the body healthy is good, but to try to make the body immortal, no good. Try to get riches, houses, resources for your living as well as for helping others, fantastic. Like the other day, that the richest man in the world, that boy, what is his name? Microsoft boy. What is his name? Bill Gates. That boy. You know the Bill Gates. Now what he says? I have no need for the money. So now he is devising way to spend it out. At least one fellow says that. No? It's not that you need to be the richest man in the world for that. If you are a satisfied man, you are the richest man. And a satisfied man is anything you can get rid of without second thought. How rich you are? I have 1 rupee in my pocket. 1 rupee in my pocket, I am a millionaire. At this moment I need 5 rupees. That 5 rupees there. Therefore, you take another 2 rupees. Go. Who is insecure? Think. Who is insecure? Nothing is enough. 5 rupees not enough, 50 million enough, 50 rupees not enough, 50 million enough, 50 billion enough, 50 trillion also, nothing is enough. The fellow is miserable. But one who feels fulfilled, what? Hey, let it be. No need for, but now he is devising the ways to give it away. Let other people be happy. When shall you hold your knowledge also like that? When shall you keep your knowledge to yourself? Because if you tell it out, like KFC doesn't give out the formula. The McDonald's will not give out the formula. The Thai food, the Chinese food, the Indian food, they have their specific spices and certain things are kept a secret. There the idea is not altruistic. That what? Let everybody take, let everybody enjoy. Then how will you make money? In religious traditions, not like that. Ramanuja was who is a great saint. The story goes, his teacher told him, I shall give you the mantra which will make you one with God or whatever. You'll go to Vaikunta. But you should not tell it to anybody. If you tell it to somebody, you will be losing the power of the mantra and you will be in the hell or whatever. If you are not in the heaven, you will not be company of God. he gloriously comes out, as they say, goes to the top of the mountain or top of the temple or top of his own hutment or top of a stone. He does story, right? He shouts to the whole world, this is the mantra, everybody must repeat. Then everybody says, are you not worried that you shall not be going to the God or you will not be in the Vaikuntha? He said, doesn't matter. One fellow doesn't go, but thousands of people go, no? That's what matters. Satisfied fellow. You're not insecure. In self-knowledge, there is absolutely no insecurity, because after all, what all we are talking, I am discussing, scriptures are talking about, you are the source. How do you remove information from the source? How do you keep the source away from the information? Because the person feels far removed from the source that he is desperate. And is so much lost in the finitude, limitations, pain, anxiety, that if you talk to him the language of infinity, absolute, fulfillment, bliss, the person doesn't understand. Where from the day one he has been conditioned to believe, do something. Yes. To keep yourself alive, you must do something. To be immortal, you cannot. To remove your hunger, you must eat something. For your satisfaction, you don't have to eat anything. You understand the point? To go from a place to place, you need to walk, you need a vehicle. A donkey to ride, a cycle to ride, a motorcycle to ride, car to ride, small plane, big plane, spacecraft. But to go at once everywhere, you cannot move. To touch the earth, where should you go? Are you on the earth or no? To be in Mars, where should you land? All over or any point? To be on the earth, suppose you are a Martian, to be on the earth, where should you land? Anywhere or all over the earth? To be the infinity, where should you land? Should you land? When am I floating or wherever? Earth and Mars, there is a distance difference. But infinity and, there is no infinity and. So there is no question of your, Richie. Consciousness, yes. So, when you are that majestic, powerful, all-pervasive, infinity, if you behave limited, lost in finite, lost in helplessness and anxiety of mortality or hunger or disease, what the scripture with full compassion, Buddha, don't be deluded. And then struggle. Ekagrata abhyasati, one-pointedness, you should not go with distraction. Distraction. There is no distraction unless I feel distracted. Listen. Why there is distraction? I want laddu, but there is only chocolate. So, I feel uncomfortable, or if what I like is there, I feel distracted. But suppose you don't have such likes and dislikes. What is a distraction? What is a distraction for somebody who doesn't want anything? Yesterday I was pushing some sweet to somebody. He says, no. So sweet must be a huge distraction for him, right? If you like the sweet, nobody need to give you. Already your eyes are on that. When am I going to get it? Suppose you don't like the sweet. It's as much, it's like two saints. When a saint was traveling in a road and his wife was walking behind. As he was walking, he saw there is a big gold ring on the road. He said, oh my God, now this woman, my wife, if she sees it, it's gold, she will naturally feel tempted. So she sat down and covered it up nicely with the dust and then walked. Then this wife naturally caught up. He said, oh, what are you doing? He looked at it. She asked, what are you doing? The fellow is very honest. He does not tell a lie to his wife. He said, look, there was a gold ring and I wanted to cover it up because I was afraid if you look at it, you may feel attracted and you want to have that. He said, but why are you covering the dust with the dust? The woman said, but why are you covering the dust with the dust? Gold also is dust. Now what can you talk to that lady? For a change, the story is woman superior. Because this type of conditioning has come, no? Women, all jokes are against women. All jokes are against man or against this. That is nonsense. Make it a joke and tell this can be equally applicable to anything or anybody. That's fine. It's a human situation. So the person who has no distraction and no sense of like or dislike, what is a distraction? So one is with himself. Which thought is a distraction? Since there is no distraction, should you struggle for concentration? And if you have a distraction, you better fix that. Are you getting that point, please? You better fix that. Because unless you empower, something cannot distract you. This flower is not going to attract anybody and everybody. You smell it and say, wow, so nice, I want it. Some other person says, how is that? Yes, it's nice. It's available, fine, not available, also fine. What do you do? Be somebody. Be yourself. What is the be somebody? Be the self. And not a conditioned existence. I like, I don't like. I'm young, I'm old. Then you shall be continuously struggling to be something or other. You can get tired of a role. You can get tired of a condition. You can get tired of a practice. But you can't get tired of yourself. That is why when you are young, you spend more time in front of the mirror. Oh, so nice. Very beautiful. Oh. When you are old, wrinkles, skinny, and the hair is all gone or some is going or something like that. And everything is drooping. Look at it. How long an old person looks at his face and enjoys. Why? He hates himself. Why hates himself? Because he thought he was young, he loved himself. Now he's old, he hates himself. That's why miserable. But suppose you are the eternal youth, the absolute with yourself, who you are. Young body, fantastic. Old body, excellent. Why? I am the one youngest. A happy man will smile in a hutment, a happy man will smile in a palace. But the person in a palace put him in a hutment. Where there is a big shift. Put the fellow in the hutment in a palace, anxiety. Shift. So ask yourself, this learning, is it a shift for you or it is yourself? If you are shifting from one standpoint to another standpoint, you shall be miserable when you come across yet another standpoint. Who you are is not a standpoint. Are you getting that point, please? It's not a condition. It's so beautiful. How much, Tasmat, Abhyasa parajanaha atmanam, what is that? They don't know. Which is Shuddham, Buddham, Priyam, Purnam, Prapancham, Niramayam. Which is Shuddha, absolutely pure, ever existing. No limitation of any kind. We had seen it last time. What last time? Verses last time, this time. Truth. Last time verse and this time verse. Not last time truth, this time truth, huh? You see the beauty. Why is it like that? Why these abhyas parajanaha, the people who hold on to a particular practice? And please think of this world today in the so-called secular and religious field. How many abhyasas, call it practices, call it experience-oriented engagements, are touted as the source of happiness. If the secular world will tell you, go to a beautiful resort in Cayman Island, go to the Grand Barrier Reef, go to the New Zealand somewhere, Taupo Lake, go to the Amazon forest, Tibetan highland, Scottish highland, Tibetan plateau. All these places, if you go, then only you shall be happy. Must-see places, when you are alive. Have you not seen that? Must-see places. 100 must-see places before you die. So you are miserable because you could not see 100. You saw only 1 or 2. Those are programs for misery, secular misery. If that promises you excitement, it also promises you. Promising the excitement is the spoken thing. Going through misery is the unspoken thing. 100 must see, no? Now, same way, religious practices. How many practices are touted? Close your eyes, open your eyes, don't eat this, don't eat that, stand on your head, stand on your tail. In our place, the Surya Namaskar is only 10, for you, we do it 12, another place we do it 13 postures. No, we start with the Savasana, we end with the Savasana. Never right. You do it on a carpet, now we do it on the ice. We do it in a cool room, now we heat up the room for 300 degrees. Just imagine. Chanting Om only one time, we do 108 times. Isn't it 100? We do 100,008. Now I am looking at the base of my spine and something is going up and up and now it is stuck in the middle one. It will take some time. You are continuously growing. You will never grown up. If you reach, business stops. And of course you shall never reach. When you are doing the practice, understand, if you are a practice-oriented person, you think the truth is the fruition of a practice, the practice being what it is, ever limited, you shall be miserable. Because with it, if you enjoy it, without it, it will be denied to you. That is why people get stuck. They cannot sit down one day, they feel like withdrawal symptom. Miserable. Body is trembling. Why he did not do asana or yoga or did not run one day? He did not chant, therefore he is permanently mouthy. Why? Because he has to. Think, friends, think. This is, when we are talking about this is nothing against any practice, but something to remind the practitioner. Watch out, look at yourself. Practice is good or bad? Standing on the head is good or bad? Good. If you want to reverse your blood circulation, the whole system must be energized. Good. Stay there forever. So you start walking on your head also, you will be miserable. Get up, stand on your leg and walk. Closing the eyes is good or bad? Practice is good or bad? Nothing. If you hold on to a practice and make it a habit, and therefore the slave of a habit, that is what it is talked about in this place. Why should a wise person or the scripture shall ever say this is bad or good? Depends on how you use it. In Tantra literatures, when you go through that, the principle is amazing. The ground on which you have fallen, holding on to same ground only you can get up. You can't hold on to space and get up. The ground on which you fall, you hold on to the same. You don't have two ladders in your house. One ladder to go up, one ladder to go down. The same ladder which takes you up, the same ladder brings you down. Therefore, what they call is the pravritti marga. There are two types. Which path is good? Pravritti or nivritti? Path of renunciation or path of indulgence? Usually people don't talk about the path of indulgence because anyway the person is indulgent. So if you talk the path of indulgence, he won't know how to indulge, how to experience. Therefore it's not talked about. But if the person knows how to deal with it, pravritti marga is beautiful. You can do something to meditate, but you can be in meditation and continue to do it. But suppose in that action, you get a glimpse of yourself and you stick to that and not the action, that becomes a meditation. Not many people will talk about it. Why? Because the whole emphasis has become a renunciation. Give up, give up, give up. You take pride in not eating, what is that, garlic or this or that. Just give an example. Not that therefore you must eat garlic to prove that you are wise. It's not like that. The scriptures, these traditions are so fantastic. When you are liberated, what this Shastra, Shankara's eulogize, he praises the Guru to the height. Bhukti mukti pradatasya tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. To that Guru my namaskaram, prostrations, who is not only mukti pradata, who not only initiates me, introduces me to the absolute freedom, mukti, the freedom, but also bhukti, the bhoga, the enjoyments of the world. Because once you are free with yourself, then you know how to live, how to enjoy. When you are unhappy with yourself, enjoyment is as much a pain as in the renunciation of it. The denial is as much a pain as in the indulgence. Because you are unhappy. Are you getting that point? When you are happy with yourself, you are happy to renounce, happy to give up, and happy to have. So which practice is good? Which practice is bad? That is why teaching is not a practice. Teaching is a revelation. You understand? Teaching is not a practice. Oh, suppose if I don't teach one day, I feel miserable. I am stuck. You know what happens? Oh, I am not going to learn from him. Who loses? Suppose somebody says, I am not going to learn from him. If the teacher is wise, if the teacher is otherwise, it's better to say, I don't want to learn from him. That's fine. But the person is wise, happy with himself. If somebody says, I am not going to learn from him, who will be losing? The teacher, right? If the teacher feels lost because he is not teaching, don't go there to learn. Because I don't want to be fodder for his addiction. Now who is giving comfort to who? There's a beautiful story. One day, a person was he was a great renunciate. Very austere practices he was going through. So, he was so austere, so nice. The story goes, suddenly one day, the area where he was practicing his austerity, on the top of that mountain, a bright light appeared in the daytime. So everybody was astounded. Wow, what is this light? Nobody knew the reason. But this man knew that because of his honest, austere living, like a celebration from the heavens. Just take that story. He's very happy. Then one day he wanted to climb the mountain. When he wanted to climb the mountain, a child, 8 or 10-year-old, wanted to go with him also to the mountain. He said, I also want to climb the mountain with you. He said, okay, you come. But baby, I am starving. I don't take anything. Total austere. No food. I'm not carrying any food with me. I'm not carrying any water with me. He said, it doesn't matter. I'll also do the same thing. So they both are going. After a few kilometers climbing up, the child is naturally feeling hungry and thirsty. And he said, I want to eat something. He said, I told you, you cannot take it. Okay. He collected some berries and some water. He said, please eat it. He said, no, I won't eat it. Why? If you eat it, I will eat it. He didn't know what to do. He said, 9-year, 10-year-old, you can't convince them for anything. He said, what to do now? He doesn't want to break his vow. At the same time, he doesn't want the child to suffer. So he said, all right. He gave him few and he took one. Gave him water, took a drop, took a mouthful. Then after that he was so worried because his holiness is gone that he could not stick to his own vow. And fearfully, with all anxiety in his heart, he didn't want to look to the mountain top to see the light. Because I have broken my vow, the star would have gone. When he looks up, he sees 2 stars. The innocence of the child, and for him to succumb to that innocence of the child. Saintliness is not your comfort, other person's comfort. You are happy with yourself. Why you do something for somebody? If you would not have done it, you would not have lost it, but the other person would not have gained it. Think. Only a fulfilled heart can function like that. That is not breaking. In absolute, there are no rules to be broken, a life to be lived. Every person must understand himself. That is the most important thing. For that, if you don't have to do or do something, you can do. I'm not talking about, therefore don't suddenly a criminal mind say, so you will kill somebody. Shut up, don't talk nonsense. Fulfillment. Help the person to appreciate what it is. Self-knowledge. Understanding yourself is not a practice. Are we practicing here? Practicing what? Speaking and listening? That's not practice. Do you know why? What is spoken about doesn't need a word. What is listened to doesn't need a word. Then why are you doing it? To know we don't need a word, we don't need to speak a word, I don't listen to a word. Suppose somebody says, same thing I do. I don't need to do this practice to be myself. Fantastic, welcome to the group. I don't need this practice to be myself. If I don't do it also, I am as much wonderful as I am without this practice. Excellent. It's like telling, I am as immortal as when my body is alive, is that immortal when the body is gone. Fantastic. As much in meditation when the thought flashes, that much in meditation when no thoughts. As much free when surrounded by a million things, that much free when there is nothing around. Namaskar. Who are you? Who is there to tell anything to you? Tadrushat aneva jananti. Such people will know such. So this is, the person knows. What? Napnoti karmana moksham. Vimudo abhyasa rupina. Vimuda, the one is visheshena muda, deluded and completely under the spell of delusion. Understand? Delusion is not his own creation. You don't create your delusion. Are you getting that point? You don't create your delusion. You don't create your ignorance, but you continue with your ignorance. That is the mistake. That you begin with ignorance is not a problem. Continue to be ignorant. And not recognizing what? What is continuing ignorance? Karmana moksham na apnoti. This is the statement. Karmana, by action, you cannot be free as the result of an action. By doing something, you cannot be free. Nasti akrutaha krutena. In Mundaka Upanishad, those Shruti will come beautifully. Akrutaha krutena nasti. Akrutaha ajanya moksha. That which is not the product of an action, that which is unborn, ever existing, and that is moksha, freedom yourself. Krutena karmana nasti, cannot be produced as a result of an action. Listen carefully. If anything is produced in time, as a result of an action, it shall be lost in time when the action comes to an end. Anything produced in time will be lost in time. Class has started, will come to an end. Eating starts, comes to an end. Body is born, body will come to an end. Thought begins, thought will come to an end. You cannot maintain it for all times to come. Anything that is product of action will come to an end. Therefore, moksha, if you want to be happy and eternally happy, if you want to be immortal, meaning no more absence in time and space, your happiness cannot be product of an action. By doing something, by seeing something, by touching, by tasting, by smelling, by thinking about something, if you feel comfortable, in the absence of it, you shall be miserable. If I want happiness, and what type of happiness? It should never be subject to loss. If it should not be subject to loss, it should not be created. Anything created in time, lost in time. If it should not be subject to loss, it should not be created in time. If it should not be created in time, it should already be existing. If it is already existing, you cannot do something to produce it, because in your attempt to do something, you deny its existence. That you cannot do anything for its existence, does it make you feel helpless or comfortable? You should be relieved. Appa. When for every little thing in life I have to do something, to be free, I don't have to do anything. Wow! When for a little comfort, I have to do so many things, but the happiness absolute, I don't have to do anything. Oh my God! How exciting proposition. Even if you don't understand, even if you are sensible enough, an iota of intelligence you have in you, appreciate this, what shall you feel? Appa, so sweet. I want to be everywhere. You don't have to do anything whatsoever. If to go 1 kilometer takes 20 minutes, for easy calculation, let us do that. If we take 1 kilometer, it takes 1 minute. 1,000 kilometers, 1,000 minutes. 10,000 kilometers, 10,000 minutes. Million kilometers, million minutes. Infinite kilometer, infinite minutes. What type of logic is that? What is infinite minutes? Infinite time is no time, timeless. To see something, if I so much of effort, to see a sunrise, so much of effort, to go to another country, so much effort, I go there and become happy. It takes so much of effort to reach a country, to go to the top of the mountain, to eat a particular food, to touch something, to taste something. If for a little happiness we are struggling so much, for happiness all times to come, Abba, how much struggle you have to make? That is where the mathematics goes wrong. To travel to a place, even from this step, this point to next point, even if it is 1 foot away, you have to lift your leg and go there. But to be everywhere, where shall you lift your leg? The trouble is, when you say, I want to be everywhere, listen carefully. The trouble is, when you say, I want to be everywhere, you take your body to be you, and your body should be everywhere. That is the problem. First know, what is this I? I want to be everywhere. So who is wanting to be everywhere? I am the body should be everywhere. Body cannot be everywhere. Body is that which is only somewhere. The body is not everywhere. Elements are everywhere. Space, air, fire, water, earth, everywhere. But elemental body, from the standpoint of elements, the body is at once everywhere. But from the standpoint of the body, it is only in one point in space, at one point in time, limited by time, limited by space. So when the person says, I want to be everywhere, means I am the body, and suddenly the body should be everywhere. Why can't the body go wherever I want it to go? Everybody wants that. There will be so much already, not only car accident, bus accident, train accident, plane accident, but also body accidents. World Cup football, the whole world, 5-7 billion people in 100,000 capacity stadium. What will happen? I want to be everywhere, right? Listen carefully. I want to know everything, all the thoughts of the world. Really? Listen carefully. For every object to be seen, to get the knowledge of everything, you have to see the object, hear the object, taste the object, smell the object. You have to go to all these places. Physically impossible. And how many thoughts? Even few thoughts you can't hold it together. Huh? Yesterday you go to a place, today you cannot go. I got all the thoughts. To be conscious of an object, you need to have so much perception and thought. To be conscious, jnana swarupa, consciousness, that is the truth of everything. What should you know? To know an object, you must see the form and the thought. To see everything to be everything, no object is needed, no thought is needed. That is why, which body which one you should throw out or which one you should have, to be yourself. So to be yourself, no action is needed. Krutena karmana nasti, no action is needed. No thought is needed. Don't you feel relieved about that? Huh? Should you feel relieved or a problem? Huh? Will you like conditions to apply? Why we feel suffocated everywhere? You want to go to America? Yes, you have to put this paper, this paper, this paper, then only. You want to climb a mountain? You should have oxygen, you should have this, then only. You want to go underwater? Only this, then only. You want to attend a particular ceremony? Only belongs to this group, you only. Now you have made infinite also conditional. Meditation also conditional. Freedom also conditional. If only you fulfill this condition, you shall reach there. No. You are it. No conditions apply. Then immediately you shall say, if you say that no conditions apply, then why say adhikara? That is Tattva class. That is not ASHTAVAKRA Gita class, okay? Don't always be a beginner. Don't be a beginner all the time. To convey you the idea of number, as a child, 2 flowers are given. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? As a child, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you are 4th class, 10th class, graduate class, postgraduate class, 4. So 4 flowers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you retarded? As a child, this is right. As a beginner, you need all examples. But once you grasp it, see it what it is. Yes, at one time, you know. In fact, numbers are abstract. There is nothing called 1, 2, 3, 4. The creation is a numberless existence. To start with, I give myself a name, but ultimately I am a nameless existence. Names and forms are required to be alive in this world. But I am the nameless, formless. I don't depend on a name or a form to be in this creation, to be the creation. Krutena karmana nasti. Whereas vimudaha abhyasa rupena na apnoti. Mudaha, vimudaha, karmana moksham na apnoti. The deluded one who lost in these practices never gets it. Dhanya vijnana matrena mukti tishtati muktaha tishtati. Dhanya, that indeed is indeed a blessed person Vijnana matrena, knowing himself. Why? Because it comes in Upanishads beautifully. Nasti akrutah krutena tasmatad vijnanartham gurumeva vigachet srotriyam brahmanishtam. Therefore, since this, that which is akrutah ajanya moksha, that which is unborn, ever existing, cannot be produced as the result of an action, the person feels the limitation of the action very clearly. Pariksha lokan karmachitan nirvedamayat brahmanaha. Karmachitan lokan pariksha, having analyzed, examined his experiences in life, that I have done so many actions. I saw, heard, tasted, touched, smelled, gathered so many information, did so many practices, but nothing left me with a sense of happiness which never comes to an end. I am tired of these actions, tired of these practices. What shall I do? Vijnanartham gurumeva vigachet. Now, in order to, therefore, once you understand the limitation of action, now understand you have to know yourself, and in order to know gurumeva vigachet, go to a teacher. Srotriyam brahmanishtam gurumeva, go to a teacher who is well versed in scripture, well versed in himself. Well versed in himself, knows himself without any doubt and error. And it's not a personal philosophy. The Upanishads back it up. Go there to study. What? To know who you are. Not what more I can do. You go to the teacher, know who you are. But the problem is not what I do or what I did. Problem is who I am, unsatisfied, dissatisfied, miserable, even after doing all this. You understand the statement? Oof. The problem is not what I did or what I did not do, what I achieved or what I did not achieve, not what I ate, what I tasted, what I touched, what I smelt, what I saw, what I heard. That's not the problem. The problem is I am dissatisfied at the end of all those sights and sounds and touches and taste and smell, informations, climbed the mountain, went round the world, rolled in luxury, or suffered all denials and abnegation, every type of austerities and pain, every extremes. Pleasure, extreme pleasure I experienced, extreme pain also I succumbed to, still tired. So I am not here anymore to do something or not to do something. Tell me who I am. Enough. Enough action. Enough learning. Enough everything. Just tell me who I am. Enough of informations. I am not here to gather informations. I want to gather about myself. I want to know who I am. Understand that? That whole shift takes place. I don't want to do anything anymore. Either to deny or to indulge. Not interested. This thought or that thought. This practice, that not interested. Then what do you want? Read the next one. Fantastic. Mudho napnoti tad brahma yato bhavitum ichchati anichannapi dhirohi param brahma swarupa bhag niradhara graha vyagra mudha samsara poshaka etasyanarthamulasya mulacheda kruto budai. This line is Mudho na apnati tat brahma. So, this person, what is it? I am somebody no more interested to do or not to do something, enough of it. Are you a person like that? That is why the teacher doesn't, the person who knows the truth is not interested in engaging yourself in a new action which you have not done. Suppose, I have eaten everything eaten now, therefore I say fast. Maybe. That is why some people like austerity. Some people like denials. Why? Indulged enough. Permissive society. Ate whatever I want, touched whatever I want, smelled whatever I want, lived with him whatever I wanted, the way I wanted, everything done. That is, such people fall a prey to an exotic life of denial. They will be very, very much against seeing, tasting, touching, doing anything or involving in life. No, because tired. The person who has gone to the other extreme of denial, maybe lived in a monastery, lived a life of denial, no food, no pleasure, everything denied, tired. So he shall go into, with double speed, he shall go back to indulgence. Perhaps that will do. Both are useless. So, if you are a person, have indulged enough, if somebody tells you, you must deny. Yes, that must be true. You are walking on your foot, problems are not solved. Stand on your head, everything will be fine. True. You have been drinking water through your mouth. That is why your problem is still continuing. Drink through your nose, it will be fantastic. Alright, try me. You have been eating the sweets, chocolates, no good. You eat neem leaf, bitter leaves, bitter vegetable, everything fine. Must be. See, you are sporting long hair, that is a problem. Bald yourself, completely tonsure, head, shave the head. So everybody feels attractive by the opposite type of behavior. Whatever you have done, if somebody tells you to do it, what shall you say? Enough of it. So if somebody tells you, all that you have not done, is like see, you come from you come from a culture where you have never worshipped God. You come here, India, you come, worship God. But in India, everybody is worshipping God. How come they are still ignorant? To an Indian, suppose, forget Indian, a person who is worshipping God and doing this type of practice, you say, no, don't stop these things. Be a total non-believer, atheist, don't worship these things. In communist countries, every fellow is a non-believer. What has happened to them? Problem is solved. You see the extremes in the world. You don't have to go through extremities to understand the limitation of extreme activities. Whatever you want to be, somebody is already that. You want to go through intense practices, somebody is doing it. Go and look at him. You want to go through intense denials, go through that. You want a believer, somebody is believing. You want a non-believer, somebody is not believing. So opposites don't have an attraction for you, because as much doing an action, listen carefully, as much acting, speaking is a form of doing, not acting not speaking, not touching, not tasting, not eating this or that, also is another form of doing. Action does not mean only walking. Not to walk also is an action. What are you doing? Simplicity, action. Anything, any action, physical, oral, mental, will not give you this. Then, therefore, opposite things will not be solving the problem. If you understand that much, you are smart enough, and then somebody is engaging yourself in some activity or inactivity in the name of activity, you better run. That will not solve the problem. Why? Your problem is, underline that line. Mudho tad na apnoti brahma yato bhavitum ichchati. Line that, second line, Mudha na apnoti tad brahma yato bhavitum ichchati. That yato bhavitum ichchati, the second half of that verse, you underline. Your problem is because yataha bhavitum ichchati, because you want to become Brahman. That is your bondage. That you want to be happy is your bondage. What you want to be happy by any action is far removed. Are you getting that point? That you want to be, the first problem, you understand? The first, the primary, the original, the primeval. The problem is what? I want to be happy by doing something. That is separate. Your action begins because you are unhappy. Are you getting that point? Mahadeva, I don't know what to do. You must see that. That is why they call it in scripture, Hridaya Granthi, three things bothers. Avidya, Kama, Karma. Avidya means ignorance. Not knowing who I am. And since you don't know who you are, that you are limitless, absolute, all-pervasive, Kama, desire comes. I want to become happy. I want to be limitless. I want to be immortal. And when the desire comes, third thing is action is inevitable. I want to be happy by doing this or by not doing this. You understand the concept? So I want to be happy, this itself denies you the fact that I am the happiness. In your very attempt to be in your attempt to be somebody or something is your bondage. The moment you say the word I, and that is a limited I, that itself is a bondage. Now that I says, I want to be somebody or I want to do something, both come to the bondage. Why? Because who I am not aware. So I want to be somebody or I want to do something to be happy. This is the mistake. If you say, I want to be something, you are already denying that you are already something, that you already are. You find happiness, fulfillment in a role. Or I want to do something to be happy, then also you will be miserable. As long as that is inside you, Brahmi bhavitum ichchasi. If there is a desire inside you that I want to be somebody, meaning I am not happy with who I am, that is your bondage. I want to do something to be happy, that is your bondage. I want to be somebody or something to be happy, that is your bondage. That is why you lose yourself in activities. Understand? To be the happiness, to be the self, to be yourself, you can't you don't have to think in a particular way or to do any activities whatsoever. But to be alive, to keep your body alive, you can do many things, you can think many things, all these are beauty. But to be the happiness, absolute, immortal, therefore, this little whisper that I want to be somebody itself is a bondage. You don't need that I thought. First you accept that I to be yourself. Listen carefully. First you accept that I to be yourself, then struggle. Who struggles? Body struggle? Even ignorance does it struggle? Ignorance doesn't struggle, as even knowledge is not liberated. The whole thing is as it is. But the moment you take that I to be yourself, the I thought, problem begins. When I want to do something, I want to be somebody. What I want to do or to be is far away. To be or to become is far away. I want, that want also is secondary. I primary. And the source is who? You don't need that name I to be yourself. Tasmad. Mudhona apnati tad brahma. This Muda, the person who is deluded, meaning under the spell of ignorance and kept under the spell of ignorance in the name of activities, in the name of achievements, in the name of practices, he shall get something in the world, but he shall not be finding that fulfilled happiness in himself. Whereas wise one, dhiraha, who is dhira? Who knows himself. Anichannapi, the person who even before beginning the search first fixes the seeker. Before resolving the questions, first resolves the questioner. Before engaging in a practice, resolves the practitioner. Before attempting to know something, resolves the knower. Such a person, dhira, anichannapi. When he knows himself, anichannapi, even if he doesn't want, he is Parabrahma, he is absolute, all-pervasive, infinity, freedom, immortality, happiness, fulfillment, do whatever. It's like one who wants to be silent. You have to listen to this sound, listen to that sound, listen to that. But another person is tired of listening to the sounds. Tired of not listening to the sounds. Somebody points out, you are the silence. Yes. The moment he knows, even if he doesn't want now, is silence. Are you getting that point, please? Can you move away from this? Can you move away from silence? You can move away from sound physically. But that also, I'm talking about external silence, suppose consciousness. Can you move away from consciousness? You can move away from a thought. If the I thought is there, it can fight with a thought, invoke a thought, dismiss a thought, engages itself in activity, physical, perception, withdraw, engage, deny, indulge, with the thought, without the thought, with the sense organ, without the sense organ, with the object, without the object. All these are activities. I itself is not there. Just close your eyes. Your sense of being, nobody takes up. You don't need hands and legs for movement. You don't need to breathe to be mortal. What is the question of breathing variation? You don't need a physical body to be mortal. What to talk of physical action? You don't need a thought to be the consciousness who you are. What to talk of this thought or that thought or no thought? Be the self, the consciousness. Nothing is needed. Neither anything can ever dismiss the presence, the awareness that you are. Therefore, there is no fight with the creation, with the body, with the senses, with your thoughts. There is nobody to fight with, nothing to fight with. You are happy with yourself and you are happy with everything. The thoughts, the body, the mind, the whole creation. Sarvam Brahmamaya. Everything is Brahman, consciousness, all pervasive. Call it Sarvam Shivamaya. Everything is Shiva. You don't like masculine figure? Shiva, okay. Vishnu, Vyapakatva Vishnu, that is all pervasive. Don't like masculine? Yadevi Sarvabhutesu Sarvarupes, that mother who exists in all forms as all forms, that which is in unto everything. Call it Devi, feminine, Deva, masculine, Brahman, neuter. It's all one and the same. It's masculine, feminine, neuter. It's neither masculine nor feminine nor neuter. Just be. Thank you.